Intermittent fasting can accelerate weight loss, but is fasting safe for women? From childhood through the reproductive years to post-menopause, in this video I'll share what the research has to say about the safety of intermittent fasting during a woman's life. There is no doubt that childhood obesity has become a problem. However, there's no evidence to support the use of fasting to combat this problem. And this is partly because the studies don't exist. It's not realistic to subject young girls or boys to periods of fasting so that we can determine if it hurts them. Also, a child's body uses calories for growth and development. So it is possible that a child benefits physically and mentally from eating throughout the day. Therefore, when it comes to children and fasting, providing guidance on food choices to reduce refined carbs and sugary drinks is the better approach than skipping meals. As a girl moves through puberty and into adolescence, the primary safety concern is that calorie intake does not drop to a point where her menstrual cycle could be disrupted. An observational study of teenage girls who fasted during Ramadan found that regular fasting caused changes in girls' menstrual cycles, especially in menstrual blood volume. Now, these types of studies rely on self-reporting, which leaves many unanswered questions. However, because of the complex hormonal changes that come with puberty, fasting would not be advised for a teenage girl, particularly at the onset of puberty. For a woman in her 20s, 30s, and 40s, fasting can be safely performed and beneficial. However, this main safety concern of disrupting the menstrual cycle persists. While the research to date is limited, we have enough evidence from animal and human studies to show that longer-term fasts, such as full-day fasting or other regimens that cause a large calorie deficit, may disrupt the menstrual cycle. Because of this, adult women of reproductive years will do best to look for short-term fasting routines that do not result in a large calorie deficit. A good target range to aim for is anywhere from 12 hours to 16 hours of fasting. This time frame will provide the blood sugar and insulin steadying effects that promote weight loss and hunger control, but it will lessen the concerns about reproductive health. Of course, regardless of age, it is important for women to eat well during their eating window to ensure proper nutrition. And this emphasis on good nutrition becomes even more of a focus for women who are pregnant or breastfeeding. At this stage of a woman's life, fasting is not recommended. Nutrition is vital for a developing fetus so it can grow and thrive within the womb. And a breastfed baby obtains all of its nutrients from mom, so nutritional care should continue after giving birth. Now, I'm not suggesting that fasting will cause a pregnant or breastfeeding mother to suffer from malnutrition, but this is not a time of life to experiment with your eating routine. Pregnancy and breastfeeding are two unique periods of a woman's life, and although fasting is not recommended for these times, it doesn't preclude a woman from using fasting at other times of her life. And I will add that if you are a woman who is looking to become pregnant, it is wise to consult with your doctor before embarking on a fasting routine. Another special consideration is the woman's past health history and body composition. For instance, fasting would be ill-advised for those with a history of an eating disorder or those who are currently underweight or in a frail or weakened state. For these subsets of individuals, proper nutrition is essential, so the restriction of food or calories is not recommended. Now, as we continue to age and move into our pre- and post-menopausal years, fasting is safe to practice. In fact, when done wisely, fasting provides extra perks for older women. A research team dug through the scientific literature looking for studies related to fasting, women's health, and women's disorders. One of the things they found was that fasting was effective for reducing belly fat. Now, managing belly fat is of interest to women of all ages, but particularly important for postmenopausal women. Increased belly fat contributes to a condition called metabolic syndrome, which is a collection of health issues that increases a postmenopausal woman's risk of cardiovascular disease and diabetes. Fasting was found to combat metabolic syndrome, which would have an overall heart protective effect for women as they age. And the benefits did not stop there. The research team also found evidence that fasting may aid in the treatment of certain cancers, improve bone health, and reduce inflammation in the body, which is an underlying condition in many chronic diseases. The research team concluded that although there is a need for large, well-designed studies on women and fasting, fasting can be prescribed as a safe medical intervention as well as a lifestyle regimen which can improve women's health in many folds. And these benefits can be had even when we are well past menopause. One of the main determinants of how well we age is our ability to preserve muscle mass. In a 6-week study, overweight women who were 60 years of age or older were placed on a fasting regimen that involved fasting from 8 p.m. until noon the next day. This is a popular method that is often referred to as 16-8 intermittent fasting. The women were not restricted in their food choices during their eating window, yet at the end of the 6 weeks, they lost an average of almost 4.5 pounds with no significant loss of muscle mass. These results were obtained not because they dieted, but because they ate their calories within a shortened number of hours. Aside from the cautions mentioned earlier, the scientific literature has revealed that fasting, when done wisely, is a safe practice for adult women of all ages, and the results are enhanced when fasting is paired with proper diet. If you are interested in starting or enhancing your use of fasting, I encourage you to grab a copy of my book, The Intermittent Fasting Diet Guide and Cookbook. It not only shares the best fasting methods for women and men, but also provides diet advice and more than 50 recipes so that you have everything you need to make fasting work for you. You can get the book through Amazon and all of the major retailers, and I will leave links here for you on the video and down below in the description area. Please join my YouTube channel by clicking the subscribe button before you go. Thanks for watching.